AI in the future is not going to be trained on anything. AI in itself in the future is going to be learning things on itself instead of being trained on our content. That's how
but
AI
it
is
but it
moving
still
towards.
needs data.
No, it's the. Well, I mean, the data. Okay, so the data that it's going to need is based on its own experiences rather than our content. So it's not going to need human-made content
I
But
understand, but
as data. It needs to just go into the world and just learn everything like a baby does. That's what the
uh,
future AI is like.
but
Masad,
the way we learn is actually by consuming data.
Yeah, but
Masad,
data from this is what I'm saying. Data from experience, not not human made data. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
But how
you
am I going
just
to know
go out
about the
there.
French Revolution from experience? I have to get some data from other people.
I know.
uh,
Okay, this is something I know about that is happening, and I'm not making this up. Right? So they're going AI. The new AIs that they're making, they're trying to make it so that it could logically figure things out rather than copying humans. That's where
Masad.
we're going. So that's what. Yeah, go on, Oscar.
Yeah, like actually, my mom, who's an anti-Zionist, when we use ChatGPT like to fact check the bullshit that she says, ChatGPT usually corrects her bullshit. Like it actually
Y-
like tells all the
Yeah, it could be
like
worse.
genocide allegations. ChatGPT says like no, like officially no, there's no like legal determination. A lot of like groups say this, but it's just more like a rhetorical kind of thing. Blah blah blah. And then my anti-Zionist mom was like, "Oh shit, ChatGPT is saying it. What the fuck?" So she says another thing, and I'm like, "Yeah, just go
It's
ahead and
like,
ask her." Like
it's,
I swear, this was his name. Haj Amin al-Husseini was hanging out with Hitler, and then asked her. She asked ChatGPT, and then she's like, "Oh shit, like it's true. Like these guys were buddies."
I'm
And
surprised
so
she's not calling it like a Jewish, like ChatGPT, like a Zionist funded
yeah, it's a Jew
conspiracy.
GPT.
yeah,
Jew GPT, yeah.
you're calling my mom like that irrational?
Wait till he
No,
finds
I'm
out
saying
that
I'm surprised. I'm
Israeli.
saying I'm pleasant. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'm pleasantly surprised because usually people who I'm saying I'm actually happy that she's not like that. That she's
Yeah, yeah.
actually willing to change her opinion.
Wait
Doesn't think it's
till she finds out that ChatGPT was created by an Israeli.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, she might boycott it.
yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, I switched from ChatGPT. I'm all Gemini now. Gemini is my
Yeah,
source.
after
Gemini
that.
is slightly better.
After that, you
But
can tell her how her phone is made and where that comes from. The technology for
Ooh,
that.
yeah,
ooh, she's not gonna like that one.
yeah.
Exactly.
everything, everything. Tell her she's surrounded by Israeli tech, and if she gives up on Israeli tech, she needs to do the washing in with her hands and like everything has Israeli tech. A washing machine and yeah,
Yeah.
anything that has timers probably has Israeli tech in it.
Oh, by
Yeah.
the way, speaking of Israel and tech and I wonder how the future of warfare is going to be with AI. Like robots, and it's going to be a lot of robots and lasers, probably.
Well, you can already see they use the AI in Gaza, right? So you can see
Yeah.
the first users of it. There's a few systems. Actually, I have a friend that really is into the that side of things. He knows a lot about it. I don't. He tells me, but I just forget because it's like too much info. It gets too much. But there's
So
all sorts of. I saw all sorts of YouTube videos that they demo it. They show the capabilities. You got all these things that can fly into a house, track the right people, chase them, spray them with stuff or take photos or whatever it's pretty
yeah,
crazy.
but those are still human. Those still need human involvement,
No,
right?
no, it's
But imagine,
actually, no,
yeah,
it's
but
autonomous.
okay, let me tell you what autonomous looks like to me. Okay, imagine if you have an AI run factory where it produces their robots and the AI
Oh,
models
okay.
and the drones in real time in the middle of the war based on the analysis
Okay.
of what the
Next
war
level.
needs right now. And the
Okay.
war is just on autopilot and just happening, right? So, and it's just learning every time a drone goes down, it just basically examines the footage, and the new drones are basically using more updated models and AI models, and the drone design. the drone design gets updated in the middle of the war based on which drones are going down and which drones are not achieving
Yeah.
their objective, and
Well,
it's
what they
fighting an army on the other side that is doing this exact same thing.
I know that what they did, it was published as well, is they had like a system that would predict if someone is a Hamas member by all sorts of factors, right? And people were really upset about it, that Israel is using AI to kill people, basically, to decide if someone should live or die. But actually found that the AI was more successful than the Israeli experts at figuring out who is a Hamas member.
Yeah. It's kind
So
of
if
like
you
the
do
way.
it by humans, we
Yeah.
can actually get more errors. They're both pretty good, but the AI was definitely better.
I'm
Yeah.
saying Israel was not the first one. It was the Ukraine war was the first time that you started using these technologies. Israel is the second one who started using it. When
Okay.
they gave it to, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
And
because there's a lot of AI development in Ukraine, actually. I think there's stuff going on in Ukraine that we're not told about, like that makes Ukraine more important than is already apparent. So I know that a lot of companies have developers in Ukraine.
Are we talking war simulations?
No, we're talking real war.
Stuff, so I don't know, but
Yeah,
I
but
know
like
that
the AI operating the drones, or AI like simulating the war, so that you know every different aspect, so you can make the right decision which way to go, or how was it used?
So my idea is that when there is no war happening, it's constantly using a simulation that is very close to the war to just test new drones, test new models all the time, 24/7. And as soon as there is a war, then it will just have like collects as much data as it can from the battlefield, and it gets better information while the war is happening to update its models, update its technology, as the war is happening. I just think, we already have, like, for example, factories that are running 24/7 that are based on, automated, robots and AI. But it would be interesting if, for example, the factory gets updated itself, like it looks at the production line and it changes the robots. It's like it not only produces, for example, phones, it also produces better robots that produce the phone based on what sees the bottleneck is, right? So the factory that produces the phone also produces the factory, updates the factory itself in real time based on noticing what's happening. And it just does that 24/7. So the production keeps improving, the production rates keeps improving. And it also comes up, like, the next level is to also do science to come up with better technology for those phones. um like, it just does scientific experiments, come up with better material, and it's just a factory just keeps improving. And imagine that with everything. Imagine that with medicine, imagine that with war. We're basically will be creating living systems that are just competing against each other without us at some point, and we're just living in the middle of it somewhere. That's the
by the
world we're
way,
going into.
Elon,
BP announced today that
What?
Israel is going to spend $100 billion creating its own armament factories, and that will probably
Ooh.
include AI as well, development. So we're trying to become independent.
Actually, it would be better if Israel to become even more than independent. It would be better for it to become something that other countries rely on and need because of how advanced their weapon is. So
Well, they
that is
already do.
once. Yeah, I know, but like even more, right?
Yes.
So we saw that they sold some weapons to Germany. I mean, obviously that must have been the best one. That's why Germany got it for their defense, against Russia. So imagine if Israel not only becomes less reliant on United States but starts competing with United States over different countries' reliance on, their technology, right? And that would be, again, this is what how I said, this is basically the way that you win this fight, um by crushing your, in the market, in
Hmm.
using capitalism and superior technology and superior economic power, rather than convincing people. We were just talking about slaves, right? People decided that, oh, slavery is bad when it started making economic sense, right? Not because people just became morally better, right? So
Yes.
and for example, Azerbaijan, like people in Azerbaijan don't hate Israel, not because the arguments there were different, not because people went there and told Azerbaijani, hey, like, Jew hatred is bad, but because of the trade that Israel and Azerbaijan have with each other. So I'm saying that this is how you defeat your enemies: with money, with superior technology, by being needed. Right? When you are needed and you're making people rich and you're making people, other people secure, they will convince themselves that they believe these things because it just, they were convinced by it. But it that's not how people come to conclusions, right? It's just like slavery. If you make their lives better or more secure, they will find a way to start agreeing with you.
It's
Right?
not always true, by the way, because it didn't work with Palestinians, but it is generally true. But also, that's what I was saying the other day. A lot of logical stuff doesn't really work. A lot of it is
Well,
very
actually,
emotional and
actually, it's also true
psychological.
with Palestinians if you look at the bigger picture, okay? Because the suffering of the so-called Palestinians is making a lot of movements, a lot of money. So if you just only focus on people in Gaza, it might not make any sense. But once you realize how profitable the so-called Palestinian cause is, and how many different, movements and the Islamic Republic is relying on it both politically and financially, right? Then you will see that, no, this is actually making a lot of people a lot of wealth and a lot of
Yeah,
giving them a lot of political power. So even there, it makes actually makes sense.
like Hollywood. That's a big that's a big thing now. Hollywood influencers, all these people just stumping for Palestine, make up all this bullshit. There's a lot of money in that.
No, like for example, with the IRGC, like with the Islamic Republic, the whole Palestinian cause was like it was very, very beneficial to them. Like that, there was no other way a Shia government could, have this much influence in such a Sunni Islamic world, right? They all their Shia empire that they were trying to build, and Israel got rid of it in 12 days, but they spent 40 years trying to build that and using the Palestinian cause. And they would have never been able to unite this many Muslims with each other, um, unless there was such a cause, because they're Shia and most Muslims are Sunni. So it served them, it really did serve them for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like the Khomeinis kind of really took the torch in the terms of being kind of like the leaders of the Ummah in a way. Then I saw even like when the U.S. attacked the bases and Iran like lost the war with Israel, that Erdogan began to say kind of things like Ottomanism, kind of trying to take the torch now, saying that he's going to be kind of the representative and the face of the Muslim world in Europe and in Asia at the same time, and making claims about like Ottoman greatness and how we used to be the leaders of the Caliphate, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh shit, like this guy. I mean, they're also competing amongst each other to see who is the leader of the torch, you know?
Right.
And because
Yeah.
I was bringing it up the other time, like you know, like the Muslim world, I'll call it like that, still sees itself as part of an ummah, you know, and with a leader. Whereas the Christian world, for example, after World War I, which is when the Christians just beat the crap out of each other, Christendom ceased to exist as a unity. Um, but they still have that vision of themselves as this, unit, brought bigger unity across the world, and usually somebody tries to take the torch.
Christendom wasn't Christendom wasn't always it wasn't as much of a.
Dajjal, your audio is really bad again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, try to do the thing that you do that makes it slightly better. Also, okay.
Christendom was never as united as you might have thought it was. I mean, keep in mind, they pretty much left Vlad the Impaler out to dry. Let the Ottomans conquer and put his brother on the throne. So they were too busy kind of fighting each other back then. But I take your point. As far as Israel goes, I agree. Israel needs to become a lot more independent. Which would
Is
not be good.
Erdogan actually going to be a threat to Israel?
No,
Or is this
no, no. He's dependent on Israel. He's dependent on most of his economy on everyone else. So he's not gonna he doesn't actually is a threat to Israel. He doesn't actually. He's just pretending. He's a con man. He's like Trump to a certain degree. Level. That's it. He wants to make business. He wants to get rich. His sons and his son-in-laws are multi-billionaires, like Putin. Putin's children are multi-millionaires and billionaires. He's just doing the same thing.
It's just the same.
Yeah.
Well, he's following kind of like the whole like the three pillars of like kind of the Ottomanism, right? Like being like Ottoman, Muslim, and I forget which was the other one, but like he kind of wants to like revive that whole like 19th century Turkish political ideas.
A very, very strong men do the same thing. It's like Putin. He wants to rebuild his Russian empire, but he's not going to do it. He failed in Ukraine. This is why he said in the Ukraine war it's going to take like 6 months. Look at it now. It's like 4 years now. 3 years or 4 years.
Well, I'm
So
not
it's
saying
not-
he'll be successful, but I'm saying what he said, like his kind of the way he tries to like justify or frame his what he does.
He's not going to do anything. He depends on America. He's a member of the NATO. He's dependent on everything that America and the West depends. So he's not going to do anything stupid. He's just boasting, just saying that look at me, I'm this new leader. In reality, he's not. No one in the Muslim world will ever take him seriously. They'll think he's just a foreigner.
Well, why is he turned into a jihadist then? If he doesn't have any such designs, why?
Is Islamic virtue signaling to other Muslims that I am here as well.
And also he hates the Kurds. The Kurds, the war in Syria actually gave the Kurds some form of independence. That's why he went fucking jihadist. He wanted to stop the Kurds from getting independence. That's why he tried to say, I am now the Khalifa of all of you. So listen to me. I'm not gonna. That's what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
That's why
And Trump bent over for it too, and withdrew our troops from the area and let them go in and slaughter them. We always backstab the Kurds.
That's the point. That he was not trying to. He was trying to stop the. Sorry.
No, you go ahead. But I don't. The Kurds like that you're talking about shouldn't be supported. Like I'm not talking about all Kurds, right? But I think the Kurds, the cessationist Kurds, if they get their way, the whole region is going to go into chaos. It's going to be such a mess. I mean, their ultimate goal is to have a country that basically will be taking parts of Iraq, Syria, Turkey, and Iran. Like, imagine the chaos and the bloodbath that will come with that. And they will be fighting with many other groups of people. Like, they're not just going to be fighting with they're going to be fighting Turks, they're going to be fighting Arabs, they're going to be fighting Iranians, they're going to be fighting other Kurds, because they don't even agree with each other on who the leadership is going to be. I mean, these Kurdish cessationists kill more other Kurdish cessationists more than they kill anyone else. So I mean,
of course.
maybe they kill ISIS.
Yeah, of course. I'm just talking about the Kurds in that particular area, the Syrian Kurds that we were that occupied Assad, some of Assad's old territory, and there was kind of a detente there, and things were kind of going well, and you could have had kind of an autonomous region forming there where a bunch of Kurds could have poured in without necessarily, dividing all these other lands into some greater Kurdish empire or something. I'm just talking about that particular area. You don't have to go beyond that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just, we Iranians are a little bit sensitive about Kurdish separatists. So every time that
Yeah.
comes up,
Yeah, I
we
understand.
get we get a bit angry again. But I'm not. Yeah.
There's a lot of Kurds that also don't believe in that too. Like there's a lot of Iranian Kurds that are loyal to Iran and just want a
Most
free Iran that they can live free within.
Yeah, most Kurdish Iranians are Iran. They say that they're Iranian first and Kurdish second.
Well, they're an Iranian people, and they're an Indo-Iranian people, just like Persian.
This is what we have in Iran that these other countries don't have. Like we have a very strong national identity. Like Iraq, go on, Samantha.
What about because I've heard this idea about like the Kurdish areas of the other countries, if they should like become part of like a Kurdish region of Iran.
Oh, that's not gonna happen.
No, that's not going to happen. Like go expansionist. Like I'm sure some pan-Iranians would love you for saying that. Okay, but that doesn't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there are going to be some pan-Iranians who are like, yes, bring the Greater Iran project. Okay, bring back all the borders of the Sassanid dynasty. Oh my god.
Exactly.
Yeah, because those people actually don't just want the Kurdish parts of Iraq. They want all of Iraq. Because I don't know if you know that our capital of the Persian Empire was in Baghdad, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, that Iraq has always been Iran, and they took that. Afghanistan was Iran, Lebanon, all these, Bahrain, all of these areas, all of the Persian Gulf Arab states, the Arab states right next to the Persian. By the way, if you've noticed, I never say Gulf Arab states, okay? Because in Iran, it's a sin to refer to the Persian Gulf as just the Gulf. You always have to refer to it as the Persian Gulf. Okay, anybody who says the Gulf is like, is like nobody like, oh, this guy, fuck this guy, right?
You're an Arabist. You're anti-Iranian, basically.
Yeah. The reason is because the Arab countries are trying to change the name of the Persian Gulf into the Arab Gulf, and that's why Iranians will always insist on saying the full name, the Persian Gulf.
Yeah, exactly. Just like you want to call it the Islamic Republic and not Iran because it's an occupation. It's not the people itself. The people hate the regime. They're being occupied. It's the Islamic occupation.
Yeah, for Iranian people, the borders are sacred. So if anybody, I
agree.
So Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America.
What?
Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America.
Gulf of Mexico. No, what? Gulf of Mexico. Come on, guys. Just one man cannot come.
The Gulf of Zion. The Jews control it anyway. So.
Yeah, Massad, you can stop this.
Yeah.
Why are you letting these guys do this, bro?
No, Gulf of Mexico all the time, all the way.
So think that they control it for a bit.
Armin, you're not getting Jerusalem back.
Listen, we're taking half of Mexican territory. Well, we're just taking another piece now. It's to go. We should just take the rest. Then there won't be any more Mexico. But
I mean, there was a project in the 19th century where there were a project where Americans wanted Canada and Mexico and become one state. So it's not weird.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, remember Manifest Destiny?
That's I think that's a Trump dream, isn't it?
No, this is an American dream. Back in the day, it was part of Manifest Destiny. The idea that we control all of North America. Yeah, that's been a thing. It's not going to happen, but it was kind of a thing. Kind of like Greater Israel. Greater Israel, like there are people who do want a Greater Israel, but that doesn't mean it's actually going to happen.
It was they used to call it Latin America used to be USA's backyard. They used to call it. It's our backyard.
Yeah.
Wait,
Go and play
Cat Lady said we're not gonna let you get back Jerusalem because Jerusalem was part of the Sassanid dynasty at some point, right? So let me actually show you guys maybe a
Yeah.
different map, Israelis and Iranians. Let me know. We could come to an agreement. How about that? Okay.
I mean,
Hold on.
Cyrus gave them. Cyrus gave their Israel,
How about this?
Jerusalem, basically.
No, wait. How about this? We can become neighbors. Greater Israel and Greater Iran. You guys want to be neighbors? Is this
Yep.
idea?
There you go.
I mean, I don't want that much Syria like in between, you know, or like Iraq either. Like, you know, there's no Jews in Syria or Iraq.
There you go.
No, that we'll
That's
take
beautiful.
we'll
And all
take
the
that.
grays, China, I guess.
No, the grays. Wow, look, we took part of Turkey as well. You guys wanna guys look, you don't have to share a border with Turkey. We will protect you from Turkey.
Oh yeah, the Armenians really would love being protected by the Iranians. The Armenians and the Georgians and the Caucasus. Yeah, they're not gonna fight. They're gonna say, "I like Iran. Get it back."